Hi friends. Let's face the facts. There's an alarming epidemic of physician burnout, with radiologists being the sixth highest specialty in terms of burnout. In fact, for the past 10 years, approximately 46% of radiologists report feeling burnt out. Some of the factors for radiologists include the high clinical workload, workplace inefficiency, feelings of isolation, and loss of control. Once burnout sets in, this can lead to substance abuse, depression, and even suicide. It also affects patient care, decreases productivity, and leads to physician turnover. Add the stress of the pandemic, political unrest, climate change, and all the other things going on right now, it's enough to make your mind explode. All the more important to talk about the antidote to burnout, which is wellness. I know wellness is a big buzzword right now, and we're getting tired of hearing about it, taking wellness surveys or being told to go take a yoga class or go meditate. But we really need to build practical strategies to build up our wellness muscles in good times so that we can dig deep and thrive even when inevitable stressors happen. I believe that wellness is both an institutional responsibility and a personal responsibility, and I'm going to give you some practical strategies to cultivate both of these. For institutional strategies, I'd like to highlight some insights from thought leaders Dr. Tate Shanafelt, the Chief Wellness Officer at Stanford University, and Dr. Stephen Swenson of the Mayo Clinic. I highly recommend their book on burnout, as well as this article, which highlights many practical strategies that they've employed at these institutions. To start, since so much of burnout comes from high clinical workload and workplace inefficiency, a foundational element that needs to be in place is sufficient staffing of both radiologists and staff, such as technologists, nurses, reading room coordinators, and schedulers. Efficiency in the work environment can minimize interruptions so that we can devote our entire energy to patient care, teaching, and research. There are also many inexpensive strategies that can help your workforce thrive, and I'd like to highlight three emphasized by Dr. Shanafelt and Swenson. The first is hiring and training emotionally intelligent leaders. The second is fostering a sense of community. And the third is fostering work-life integration. A 2013 study of 2,800 Mayo physicians showed that there was a 47% variation in workplace happiness depending on your direct supervisor. Who knew that your supervisor could have such an effect on your happiness? Emotionally intelligent leaders are transparent, approachable, cultivate community, and create an equitable work environment. One simple thing that emotionally intelligent leaders do is getting to know their team as individuals and really understanding their unique talents. When these leaders then give their workers just 20% protected time to do what they really love, this cuts burnout rates by 50%. Cultivating community. We are social creatures and we thrive in community. I know that this has become more challenging during COVID, but not impossible. Pre-COVID, I used to love going to lunch with my colleagues, getting coffee, going for stair climbs, or even going on a short walk to the art museum. Now we've created new rituals like our daily huddle, Zoom happy hours, and constant connection through text messaging or checking in on colleagues over the phone. We need to stay closely connected so that we can help each other in times of need. Fostering work-life integration. COVID has been a really creative catalyst in helping us rethink how, where, and when work gets done. Many institutions deployed home workstations, established flexible work hours, including evening shifts, and allow part-time work, which can increase diversity and help support two-career households. There are also even more creative solutions. For example, at Stanford, they have a banking system to promote work-life integration. So if you work a shift for a colleague, mentor a student on your own time, etc., you can cash this extra work in for services like PowerPoint help or even groceries.
But we don't have that kind of money.
Even if you aren't inspired by the moral implications of physician burnout, it makes sense financially to invest in wellness. It costs an average of $500,000 to $1 million to recruit and replace a radiologist who has left your practice. We simply cannot afford to lose people due to burnout. And now onto our personal responsibility for our wellness. Self-care is not selfishness. It's the wisdom to know that having a healthy body and mind are foundational to being able to live fully and joyfully. This is a huge topic and very individual. Some people like to exercise, others like to spend time with their family. The point is to experiment and see what works for you. Here are some of the resources that I have found helpful over time. Yes, folks, even I was silent for 10 days. And here are some general themes I'd like to emphasize. Mindset, including gratitude and growth mindset, mindfulness, time affluence, and sleep. Mindset. Did you know that our subjective well-being is approximately 50% set by genetics, only 10% set by our circumstances, and 40% set by our thoughts and habits. This means that we have a lot of control over our well-being, depending on our mindset. The first mindset I'd like us to consider is gratitude mindset. Gratitude helps us focus on all of the things that we have rather than what we don't, and brings us into the present day. The ways you can cultivate this is by writing down 3 things that you're grateful for, or doing something the Stoics do called negative visualization, where you try to imagine what it would be like to not have, for example, your house or your family. This can instantly increase your gratitude for everything that you have. Another powerful mindset is growth mindset. In growth mindset, challenges or failures are seen as an exciting opportunity for growth. This leads us away from fear and perfectionism and into the realm of creativity and curiosity, like making a fun video for RSNA, or sewing a radiology skirt. If you're feeling stuck in a negative mindset, I've found that coaching can help. Coaching is different than teaching or mentoring, where you impart specific knowledge or advice. In coaching, the coach asks magical questions to try to get the coachee to their own solution-focused plan.
But I don't want to pay for a life coach, and my work won't give me one.
That's okay. I found a hack. You can actually coach yourself. I use a methodology taught to me by Dr. Neil Rofsky, the chair at UT Southwestern, and his coach, Dr. Robert Hicks, who wrote this book, Coaching as a Leadership Style. I'll give you an example of me coaching myself now. I'm so depressed. COVID sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. Tell me more. I'm so sad all my trips got canceled, and I'm worried that my family and I will get sick. So if I hear you correctly, COVID has made you feel isolated and scared. Has there been a time before where you felt like this, and what did you do to handle it? Yeah, I guess when my mom was sick, I handled the fear by educating myself, talking to friends, and setting up a new routine for myself. So what's stopping you from doing that now? You're right. Aarti, what's your desired future state? To have COVID go away. Aarti, we need a positive statement that's under your control. Okay, I guess I want to feel calm, present, creative, and connected. What would you see, feel, or experience if you had reached this goal? I'd sleep really well and wake up with energy, exercise. I'd be creative and productive at work, and I'd feel connected to my friends and family. What's one tiny thing you can start doing today that would get you closer to this desired future state? What can you start doing, and what can you omit doing? I guess I can use all the lessons I learned from Atomic Habits, this book that believes that tiny changes make huge differences. I can set up a habit tracker so I can track my sleep and exercise for a month and see how it's going. I can put things on the calendar. I can move my book clubs and my movie club, as well as my family gatherings, to Zoom and put them on the calendar, which will hold me accountable. And we can increase our case conference to twice a week. Once we announce our plans on Twitter, that will hold us accountable. As far as omitting, I could probably just, stay away from social media and news, which will only, sort of increase my anxiety. That sounds like a great plan. I'll check back with you in 2 weeks and see how it's going. Hey Aarti, how are things going? Much better. Our case conferences are going great, and we've made new friends and colleagues from around the world. Our website even now has 46,000 views. I learned how to draw with an Apple Pencil and was able to make some drawings for my AIRP lectures. And I feel really connected to my family and friends. That's wonderful. See, even when you coach yourself, you can take yourself out of the complaint zone into a solution-focused plan. My next tip is about being mindful. When you're mindful, you're in the present moment, not perseverating about the past or worrying about the future. This can really decrease your anxiety and your mind chatter. And you don't have to meditate to do this. You can do it when you're doing anything like walking, brushing your teeth, chopping vegetables. My next tip is to build time affluence, because time to have relationships and experiences can really help your work-life integration. I do this by getting help. For example, my personal assistant, Kate, who helps me with lots of things. For example, cropping PowerPoints, planning trips, doing household duties, running errands. She's a great help. My final tip is to get yourself some sleep. You can get more tips on how to improve your sleep hygiene by watching my sleep video. But basically, adults need about 7 to 10 hours of sleep, and without it, you can have a whole host of health problems, including cardiac disease, stroke, depression, and on and on. Even LeBron James sleeps 10 to 12 hours per night. And I found out I need about 10 hours per night too. So I guess you could say I'm like the female Indian version of LeBron James. In summary, burnout is really affecting our workforce, and we need both an institutional and a personal commitment to wellness. At an institutional level, we need to staff appropriately, hire emotionally intelligent leaders, cultivate community, and provide flexible and creative scheduling that can foster work-life integration. On a personal level, I like to cultivate growth and gratitude mindset, stay in the present moment, build time affluence, and get lots of sleep. It's all very personal, and I hope you feel empowered to find what works for you. Thank you so much for your attention.